to Ciao Bella Leadership. Heather here. I'm working from my downtown Kansas City apartment, and it is Independence Day. Happy 4th of July, everyone. I hope you're truly celebrating your independence in life and the freedom that you have. And that um, really came full circle for me this year in so many ways. I spent the weekend at Lake of the Ozarks, which was a beautiful end cap to this journey that I've been on for self love and healing after spiraling out of a divorce many years ago. Um, let's try not to get emotional here. A divorce that it was tough for me, and divorces are tough for everyone, right? Yeah, I don't claim to be different here or anything like that. Well, I do claim to be different, just not about getting divorced. There you go. Everyone's different. So, anyways, long story short, I don't know how to make a long story short. I was with my second husband for, by the time our divorce was final, we were together 20 years, married 18. We had been together a couple of years before the marriage, so 20 years. But it took a couple of years for the divorce to be final, so many of those years we weren't actually together. So, anyways, I digress. That part wasn't important. The part that was important was simply that I had not expected to get divorced again. I thought that was my forever relationship. And it took a lot of years to finally have the courage to spiral out of it. Not because he was a bad person or I was a bad person. I don't know. Somewhere along the lines, our visions were just different. And I was looking for something that was more encompassing for all of us and not just a couple of us in the household. So, anyways, the divorce was really hard for me for a lot of reasons. And then to pile on top of it, my kids started empty nesting, and just meaning growing up and moving out, right? They don't need their mom and dad as adults. And during that time, I spiraled a lot. Yeah. Finding who I was and what I loved, and I drowned myself for a while in alcohol and party drugs and just things, just trying to find a new normal. And I got really sick. I got really sick. And so I was the passion I had for my job was fading. The zest I had for life was almost gone. It was gone. The one thing that I knew I had left uh, was my love for travel and to see different places and different ways of doing things, and as I traveled around the world to different places, when I went to Italy and saw my foreign exchange students' family, they were so gracious in letting us stay at their home and letting us be immersed in the Italian culture, and that was beautiful. And then going to Paris and walking around Paris and sitting in the cafes, and then hiking across Spain. That was the hardest trip I did, and that was the trip that was the most defining for me. I knew that diet and exercise were going to be key. They were going to be key to my mental health. And the third component that I knew was going to be key to my mental health was finding a way to socialize again differently. Learning how to be part of friendships and circles of people without pouring gasoline down my throat, because it might not hurt you, but it hurts me badly. And I don't want to judge others who drink, because shoot, I miss it myself. It was fun. Yeah, and I still love to have a good drink, with a nice, fun craft cocktail with a good dinner, or a nice glass of wine with an Italian meal. And I can do that. I can just only do it so often. And so, if I don't want to be in depression all the time, and fighting for mental clarity and trying to clear the mental fog out of my head, then I had to find different ways to do things. And so that's really where my life has been for many years, but definitely the last year, is just finding new ways to integrate into humanity, finding healthy avenues to flower and be me, because underneath it all, I'm a good person. I'm a nice human. I am. I'm sometimes oblivious to certain things because I can only focus on so much. And when I'm aware of something, I really am more conscious and courteous to those situations. Pardon me. Pardon me. I'll give you an example of something that happened. Um, I was at the pool, and I had been kind of going off to the side and hooping, hula hooping. I was really connecting with the sun and the birds that would fly by. Anything, I would just get into a meditation if I needed to kind of escape the crowd for a little bit or something. And I had just come back from hooping for a little bit and feeling refreshed. And Jimmy, the gentleman that I rode with to Lake of the Ozarks, he said, "Heather, there's a girl across the pool that says she knows you." And I looked over at her, and at first I thought she was someone else. At first I thought she was a friend of mine named Jane from junior high, believe it or not. That's who I thought she was. But as she started coming closer to me across the pool, I recognized her as a girl that I knew from Kearney, which is where I raised my children. So her son and my sons played sports together. And I recognized her as she was coming across the pool. I knew that it wasn't Jane before she got to me. And I couldn't remember her name. And I was pulling for it, but I just could not remember it. And it was bothering me because more than anything, I wanted to be able to pull out her name as I was standing there talking to her. I was so grateful. I was so grateful that she was coming over to say hi and all. And I could not remember her name. I remembered her face and I remembered her little boy. But I could not remember her name. So I talked with her for a little while, and I did have the courage to ask her, remind me her name, and she told me her name was Rachel. And after our conversation, I started thinking, goodness, I wonder how she perceived me all those years ago, because I used to go to practice, and while the boys were practicing, I would go walking on the trail or listening to music or something like that while they were practicing. And I wasn't a super social person, I guess, at all. I mean, I always thought I was, but as I think back to my relationship with her, I realized, a lot of them would just get their lawn chairs and excuse me, and watch the other boys practice, watch them with the coaches, and I didn't. And my reason for not is sports are so competitive, and I'm a competitive person, but I also just like the games for games, and just the act of having fun and getting to know people. And when the coaches or the dads or the moms or anyone get super intense with their kids or with the kids about they're not getting it right and do it better, it gets me anxious. So I never sat around so much for the practices, at least not very often. I would kind of go off and get exercise in or run an errand or something. I mean, I'm sure there were times that I sat around for practice, but not always. That was more my husband's department. He was um, the one that liked to get real intense with the games. Like, I couldn't play board I couldn't play board games with him very often because he's just very competitive, and one of my sons is like that too. They like to win, not just play, right? And I like to play. Sure, I love to win. I love to win. But the game is about playing for me and having fun, right? And just the experience of doing it and enjoying it. So anyways, I digress. I didn't mean to talk about sports in this video, but that's just how it came across. So as Rachel and I were standing there talking, and she had no idea how much it meant that she came across the pool, and then how beautiful it was to just see her looking at me and smiling and talking and having conversation. And she's a really sweet girl, and I remember her from back then, and her son is a little bit like that too. Just go with the flow, quiet, unassuming, fits right in. She's, yeah. And I remember with him, with her little boy, just he was one of those kids that as a mom you'd want to look out for and make sure he wasn't being left out or isolated, you know? Just because he was quiet and unassuming. And I see that his mom is like that. She has a place in my heart right here. Rachel, thank you for coming across the pool and saying hello to me. Thank you. Most people don't know, but that was a incredibly challenging weekend for me that ended up so beautiful. I had zero problem not drinking, which I didn't think I would. More what I thought the challenge would be how to have conversations with people and explain why I wasn't drinking or whatever. And everything just worked out, and it was lovely to go back to a place and realize that yes, it is beautiful in nature and loving, and yeah, there are people that go there to party their ass off, and yeah, there are other things that you can do there, and they're accepting. So thank you. I mean that to everyone that played a part in this weekend. You helped me unfold into this next chapter of my life so beautifully and graciously, and I have no idea what this next year has in store, and I'm ready. I'm so ready. If we think back to COVID just a few years ago, walking around the streets and just feeling the quietness. It was eerie and scary. Not scary it was just weird. It was weird. My eyes went to the Holy Bible again. I believe that there was this higher purpose pushing people back into their homes to figure their stuff out in their families. And we're a couple years fast forward from that, so perhaps people have figured out what they needed to in their families or are well on their ways, because it seems like people are out again, living and breathing and sharing space and sharing stories. So that's absolutely wonderful. And today, I'm using today as this bridge between the weekend and the work week, because it's a holiday. I have got big projects for my work and this self-love leadership game that I am writing right now, getting ready to open up the mentor-mentee program to help in the development of the formal development for package sale. So I've got so much that I need to do while I'm still kind of wrapping up the content that is used to build it, actually. So I've just got so many things reeling in my head about the hows and things like that. But this mentor-mentee program, in a nutshell, is that I want people who are interested in learning about leadership and talent development. That is what I've spent my career on, and we'll be building a leadership and self-talent development game where people can identify what is their special niche in the world, and how do they fit, and how do they illuminate and shine, and how do they find experiences that help them meet the right tribe and stuff like that, right? So building this game to help people who are in search for what their niche is, or if they want to polish their niche some or try some other things out, this game will be full of just experiences to help people do that. Different ways to meditate, different ways to explore the world, different ways to heal your body, different ways, so many things. This, I hope, will be jammed packed full of goodies, and I don't want it to be only my goodies. I am looking for 100 mentor mentees, meaning they're going to learn from me and I'm going to learn from them. It's this flip mentee mentor relationship. Hopefully there'll be people that know things that I don't, that we can help illuminate in this game, right? So I'm pulling a bunch of people to share their creative ideas, take my journey plus things that they did on their journey. Maybe they didn't have an official journey over these last few years of COVID, but they probably had an unofficial journey of things that they did or to polish their presence and find who they were, or things that they've tried that even didn't work. I'm sure we'll have part of that in this game as well. Anyways, I don't want to go into too much, but as you see things, the advertisements coming out, that's what I'm looking for, is mentor mentees that are ready to collaborate to build this leadership game for sale on the shelves. And by doing that, you unwrap your own onion, flower, gift to the world. You maybe what you've already unwrapped and unflowered, and you have the opportunity to be interacting with, like I said, hopefully 99 other people from around various different places, and the things that they've tried and they've done. So this will be this wonderful, beautiful sharing journey back and forth, and figuring out how we best capture it for all learning styles, and in a way that people would actually want to sit down and try this game of unlocking their mind and their potential to a new reality. And this, don't mind the cover and stuff like that. This is, I'm not even sure if you can really see it right now, but this is just, I doodled on this myself. This is handwritten, and this isn't the final version by any means. This is just what I initially started coming up with on my own. And like anything, how I've always worked in corporate America or anything else, is collaboration. Collaboration is so important, because if it is only my way, it is only going to fit, a certain learning style and a certain style of person. I love having that richness of other minds coming in and other viewpoints and learning styles, because they push back and say, oh, but I wouldn't have understood what the heck that meant. Thank you for saying that. How would you understand it, right? And so we start to play around with the content and get it really polished to be packaged for sale. And as we do that, we're all learning, because I'm learning from the feedback that you give me. You're learning from the feedback that I give you, and some of the content that you're seeing in the game and some of my adventure. I'm hoping that there will be plenty of opportunity to go to some of these locations and experiences that I visited along the way, or others, where we can capture media and content. I have a lot of media from what I have done, and there may be, we wish we had a video of whatever. So perhaps we'll be able to find ways to go back to some of those locations and do some filming, or whatever we need to do to create for this game to go live. I'm excited about it. I can't wait. I started this video to just say I had an amazing weekend at the lake. Thank you to all of you who accepted me in a different way. Some random girl, sober girl over there hula hooping by the trash can in the bathrooms all by herself, and just connecting with the sky. Thank you for allowing me to be that. I needed that in the weekend. It was really necessary for the chapter that I was closing in my life, and the chapter that I was opening in my life. So, just thank you. I just want to say thank you. And more to come in so many beautiful ways, I'm sure. I'm looking for the button now. Tux came and sat right here on my lap. I wonder if he's sitting on it. Hi, Tux. We set the button down. How can we stop the recording without it? Do you have it? Ah, isn't he precious? What did I do with it? Did I drop it? I'm sorry, Tux. Wow. I just have no idea. I just had it. Well, I can't be the button girl without the button. Maybe I just get rid of the button altogether. Oh, there it is. Yeah, maybe one of the mentor mentees is going to have enough technology know-how to know a better option for this button. All right. Take care. Peace, love, happiness. Always. Heather here. The button girl.